Alright, Paul here with Retro Gaming Arts again, and today we're going to be talking about another sick RPG that kind of went under the radar a little bit and got overshadowed by others, and that is SAGA Frontier. Now, SAGA Frontier it's different. It's a little bit off the beaten path from traditional RPGs. You got 7 characters from the start, and you can choose whichever 7 you want to play and just kind of drop right into the story. And then as you play through, you figure out the whole story for each character. They all intertwine. It's in a slightly futuristic style world, but you still have magic and everything. And it provides a little bit more of a challenge, so it's actually really cool. And then once you get all the end stories for each character and see the whole thing come together, it's really rewarding and satisfying and fun. Really good game. This game got overshadowed by a lot of the really popular RPGs from the mid to late 90s. So not too many people playing it. Actually, the way I found out about this game was when I opened Bushido Blade. On the inside, there was an advertisement for SAGA Frontier. And here it's Bushido Blade and instead of SAGA Frontier. And that's how I learned about this game. And I was very happy and very fortunate that I did, because it was a lot of fun and it was really cool to try something a little different. So let's go take a look at SAGA Frontier and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Hey guys, this is Dylan with Retro Gaming Arts. Today I'm going to be bringing you a review of SAGA Frontier 1. So in the beginning of the game you get to choose between 7 different characters. All their stories intertwine at some point or another, though they don't really start in the same place. You can choose whoever you want, doesn't matter what order you play in. So I started off with Blue. That was the first character I chose, and it starts you off in a little bit of a puzzle kind of scenario, and you have to figure it out to move on to the next level until eventually you get out of the place you're at and out into the world. So you don't actually travel around on a world map. There's a system where you travel between areas that you select, and some of them have a little bit of a world map, some of them don't. One thing I noticed in this game, when you run up to somebody, you don't actually have to hit a button to talk to them. If you just run into them, you start talking to them, which is kind of weird and can get a little annoying if you're in a crowded area, but all in all, it's not that big of a deal. So if you notice, there's spots where when you talk to somebody, your character will actually start saying something, and their font will be in a different color than the standard font, and that's how you can tell that you're talking to the right NPC to forward the story. And you kind of have to pay attention. It doesn't really tell you where to go. Monsters chase you down. They're actually visible. It's not like a chance thing. They'll run up to you and attack you. You can also avoid them, and you have a sprint button as well. In this game, you start out with a bunch of abilities too. You don't have to start out with just your standard basic attack and doing little to no damage and, you know, having a pain in the ass of a time leveling up. So it doesn't actually even have levels. You don't have to gain levels. You actually just gain stats, HP, strength, you know, that kind of thing, attributes. And you get skills too as you go along. Magic you have to actually buy from a magic vendor, but skills you'll learn from using whatever weapon you're using, and you'll learn more skills with that weapon. So here's a boss fight. This is actually Amelia. This is a different character we just started with. This is the first boss fight in her storyline. So some of them are kind of easy, some of them are kind of hard. This one was a little more of an easy fight. You also have combinations you can do. So when you pick your abilities or whatever move you're going to do with each character, they link up and you end up with combinations which do more damage, and you get to watch both of them attack at once, which looks pretty cool. So I thought that was interesting. I thought that was a new take on the combat in an RPG, especially when, you know, it comes to turn-based, and that can get a little bit boring. So you have level 2 combinations, level 3 combinations. Here you're about to see level 3 combination I figured out right here in this boss fight, and it definitely huge advantage. When you're fighting a boss, you want to be using these combinations. So here's another fight which was not so easy. This is Amelia again. This is a little bit later in the game. So you're fighting this robot wheelie thing, and yeah, he doesn't mess around. So again, I'm starting off trying to do some combos and stuff like that, trying to get my damage in, and he seems to want to attack everyone at once. I am not under-leveled for this point. Again, there's no levels, but you know, my stats are pretty good. I'm at par at least, if not a little bit above. Spent some time leveling up. So here you see the little light bulb pops up overhead, and she just does a move you didn't select. That's what happens when you learn a new move. I have her using a sword, so she learned that skill for a sword. So you can't use that skill unless she has a sword equipped. But that's how you learn new moves. The magic is different. You actually have to buy magic spells, which can be found from various vendors around the game. This fight, you're about to see why it's difficult. Sometimes you get in these boss fights and they just are merciless. So I'm, you know, thinking I'm doing pretty good, and then I get stampeded and all my characters are dead. Not fun. What is cool in this game is you don't actually have to revive your characters after a battle, and you don't have to bring up their HP either. So when they die in battle, it's basically like a knockout, and the enemy can still attack that knocked out character, and it only does 1 damage. It doesn't affect anything, and when the battle ends, they're back to life and back at full hit points. So here I got kind of lucky. I was you know, lucky to have the boss attack all the other dead players instead of my live one, and you know, using the combos again, I eventually was able to beat this guy. But this was not an easy fight. This took me quite a few tries, and a lot of times you'll run into that in this game where you'll find a fight and it's just incredibly difficult. There's secret fights too you run into, and you get messed up real bad. Granted, you get rewards, but at the same time, it's not so easy. So this is another character. This is Blue. I was playing him for a little while. I was having a lot of fun with this one, actually. This is what the world map kind of looks like of one area. So there's different areas around the game. Like I said, there's a transportation system. You choose where you go, and you either get a screen like that, or you're just in the area. This character is interesting because he actually has a transformation, and he transforms into a hero, as they call it. It's a suit that makes him into, you know, he personifies a hero when he uses this suit. And his name's Alcazar. He gains tons of power. He's much stronger. You can fight as Blue normally, and he'll gain HP and stats and all that kind of stuff. When you're Alcazar, he doesn't. He doesn't gain anything other than new skills or magic if you buy it. But he is much more powerful. So you're actually not able to use this form unless Blue is the only person on your team at that point in time, because nobody's supposed to know that he is Alcazar. So it's kind of cool the way they do that. You have certain times where you know, have to use it, sometimes where you have the choice to use it. But as you play, if you want your character to level up, then you're gonna have to level up the actual character without the suit, and, you know, actually take the hard road. Though when you level up the character, the suit becomes more powerful as well. So here I'm stomping on this giant bird, lion, griffith thing, manticore, I guess you would call it, with a crown on. Weird. Anyway, he's definitely way more powerful than your main character. So you're also part of a crew on a ship called the Singus, and they are kind of like a renegade kind of crew, similar to Final Fantasy VII with Sid, where you end up with a crew and a ship and stuff like that. So we're getting beamed back up. The ship's getting attacked by pirates. There's another little scene where you get to see, you know, more in detailed picture of your characters and stuff like that, which I thought was kind of cool. Nice little thing to throw in there. So sometimes the enemies look kind of dumb. You know, there was a walking plant there that's supposed to be a pirate. You have this furry little creature, not sure what it is, looks kind of dumb, really easy to kill. Supposed to be a pirate, not really sure. But okay, so here you got your equip screen. So you can change items. You actually, like, you see cure, is potion, and you actually have to equip those into your weapon slots to be able to use those potions in a fight. And there's no point in using them outside of a fight. Like I said, your HP just goes back to max as soon as the fight's over. You can also equip multiple weapons and use a variety of different weapons during a fight with one character. So you also have your standard, different kinds of armors and equips that will do different things. As you see there, the will went down, but the defense went up. So you kind of got to play around. Here is a cool thing. You got to run across the outside of a flying ship, and I stopped to see what happens, and I died. And that was game over. Right back to the beginning. So the game can be a little bit unforgiving like that. Good thing I saved first. So at the end of this, you come into another boss fight. This is for blue. We are fighting Platy Hooks here. Again, some of these monsters are a little bit ridiculous, but it was fun in the, overall. In the long run, I had a great time playing this game. It's challenging, and I had a lot to figure out. You have some skills that, again, different characters. People will get the same skills using the same weapons. I have these two using swords. They have a mystic that has different abilities. We have a hand-to-hand fighter. There's guns as well. And, again, we're trying to use as many combinations as possible. It's also interesting, the combinations depend on when your enemy attacks. So if you choose the right abilities to do a combination, and your enemy attacks you in between those two skills that your characters are using, it doesn't actually do a combination. So there's instances where you think you're gonna have a combination attack, and your enemy will mess it up by attacking before the second character gets their move. So this cheap guy runs away when he gets beat, has his henchmen, his lackeys come in and attack, and which took forever, and this was actually really obnoxious. But there is something cool here I want to show you. We got area of effect moves, and it's not like a normal game. Some moves that just attack everything, and others like this one will actually you aim this arrow, this triangle, and it will attack everything that's in that area of effect. And then you see Gale Slash is another move where you actually just attack everything that's in front of you. So I thought that was kind of cool. They put some new dynamics into a turn-based RPG, which was a lot of fun. Overall, this game was really challenging, but I had a blast playing it. I would highly recommend it to anyone who enjoys RPGs. There's tons of playtime here, and overall, it had a pretty good story. So thanks for checking out Saga Frontier with me, and back to Paul.
Absolutely loved it. Loved Saga Frontier. I loved the whole playthrough. I loved playing as all the different characters, and I really liked how the story intertwined. I love it when games do that. It's so cool to me. I thoroughly enjoyed this, and it's a nice one to pick up like every couple of years and replay too, because you forget what happens, and then you get to kind of experience it again, and that's what's really good in games like these. So yeah, thanks for checking out Saga Frontier. Go check it out yourself if you haven't played it, and if you have played it, revisit it if you want. So yeah, you can follow me on Twitter, Retro Gaming Arts, and keep watching our YouTube channel for all things video games. Alright, I'm Paul and I'm out.